Okay, so I just watched Put a Ring on It, and Darion is the worst. Darion and Alexia and Kai are the worst. They will forever be the worst. I don't know if there's a way that a season can top them. There were hints throughout the episode that there was some foolery, some fakeness, some fraudulence, some acting going on for them trying to make things better. At some point, Alexia said that Darion told her he was going to go on a third date with Kai to make things interesting. I think she might have said that on the show. But all the things that have happened afterward, if these people are faking, they are nuts. Do you hear me? Let's get it on. Derek, Brittany, and Sir James were there for Sean and LaRonda. We're going to knock this out the park because I don't care about them. Eric or Sean, said that what he got from the whole thing was, he thought the whole thing was cool aside from him almost ending up in the hospital, behind LaRonda going out on a date. They kind of made Egypt, the host, kind of made a big, thing about, that. It was the worst part of the whole season. No. But she kind of wanted him to really think about the fact that he is a baby, and I think that's good for him. But it wasn't sinking in. So Sir James came in and tried to drive the nail in. He said that when he met, and I said this on the last when I talked about the reunion on the last video that I did. I said that I gave Sean some, respect for simply responding to Sir James's insult by saying that he's immature. I kind of said, well, he's kind of right. He's being immature, but as they do, the editing did not show the whole thing. Sean let what Sean was saying to Sir James wasn't just to simply grow up, and be a better man. He was just saying, you are playing flag football at 40. The guy's a comedian, It's funny. Sir James, whatever, Brittany, which was Sean's date, was confused when her dates were cut off because, Sean wanted to take her to Florida. He wanted to drive her up there himself. LaRonda was upset about this, or she was irritated by this, and honestly, they said that they had a whole bunch of arguments about it at home because of all the connections that he made. Now, LaRonda didn't give the jealous impression on the show, but like I said in the last video I made on this, the last review I did, these two are turning out to be two peas in a pod, and LaRonda is just a shinier pea. She shined up with some pink lipstick on. She looked cute, just because I don't feel like nitpicking. That pink lipstick looked like it should be on anybody else in the cast. Anybody. Even Darion could have worn that pink lipstick and it wouldn't have raised my eyebrow the way it did on LaRonda. But, she's a beautiful woman. She could pretty much pull off anything, as Derek, the guy who apparently the internet loved, just like I did. I was told by someone in my comments that Derek is just a smooth operator. Like, he's just like that's the old man playing young women, and I fell for it. I don't think I would fall for it in life, but I fell for it for LaRonda, because in comparison to Crybaby Sean, which it turns out to be her soulmate, I just prefer Derek. But yes, so I've almost spent 5 minutes on these two for some reason, so let's hop over to Jessica. Yeah, I think that's it. So let's hop over to Jessica. Jessica and Eric were going to be I was hoping that Eric and Jessica and Darion and Alexia was going to give me everything I needed. Eric and Jessica did not. So this is going to be quick. Jessica learned nothing. Jessica is still saying that the same thing she said mid-season. She basically learned that she does not need to just be loved for her looks. Eric, who Egypt commended for being the first to kind of jump into the process, he learned that temptation is real. And that even though it was so hard to kind of not fall for the temptation, he learned that what he had was better, and that he could fight that temptation. I think Sean actually said something like that too, because his thing, Sean's stupid tail thought that he would just break at any temptation, but he had to learn that he didn't need to break. Ugh, whatever. But yeah, Sean or Eric learned that temptation is real. When I think about it, that's kind of dumb too. But they so the four of them. Oh, Leilani, crazy tail. Listen, I gave her props for being mature too, and not needing to one up Jessica in the way that Kai clearly needed to one up Alexia, and just kind of being there to just have the process. But when Egypt asked her, did she think that Eric crossed the line at any point, because we all saw him cross the line with all that touching. And Jessica also said that she felt she didn't like all the touching or whatever. She felt that it was disrespectful. Egypt asked Leilani, when did she know that Eric was going to choose Jessica? Well, Leilani said, well, he never actually said it, but it was clear that there were rules there. He never asked for my phone number. He never disrespected her. Leilani, what? Come on. We all saw it. Handsy pansy the entire time. But she did say that she wasn't touchy-feely because it was him. She's just a touchy-feely person. As she was saying that, Eric's stupid tail was over there cheesing. That's how he was over there looking. And Jessica was looking at it, in her periphery, like, when we get home, I'm gonna get into that tail. And so we know that's going to happen when it gets to the house. Because remember, Jessica was like extremely jealous in the beginning. And it was all about someone had cheated, and he thought that she had somebody on the side just in case there was no trust between them. And they just kind of, I think what they did with these dates was kind of make it worse. Jessica has a ring, but they're still a hot mess. When Jessica was talking about Derek, and Derek said that, Egypt, there we go. Egypt asked Derek, Jessica's date, the one that she went on a date with quite a few times, how she asked him if he thought that he would have a chance with her if Eric wasn't there. And he was just like, yeah, for sure. And then Eric just had this look on his face like, yeah, okay, I guess, because what can you say? You got the prize, y'all are stuck together, at least for however long you choose, because an engagement ring. And, of course, Egypt made sure that Jessica and LaRonda showed those rings toward the camera. And toward the camera is something that, I'm going to speak on Egypt and that toward the camera mask in a bit. But, yeah, so they could just take the ring, probably just take the ring back or hawk it or something. I don't know. This really means nothing. And I just really feel like these people really did nothing but propose. Maybe not, who knows. Did I get everything with, one moment. Man, oh, listen, I forgot to say. So Egypt got on my nerves. A lot of the stuff she did got on my nerves, because she did one thing that I appreciate her for doing, in regard to Kai, but she acted like she completely agreed about when Jessica said that she felt that all the touching was disrespectful. Egypt was like, oh, you really? You freaking idiot. when LaRonda was saying that people were, she asked LaRonda, what did she learn? LaRonda said that people, she didn't realize that she was enabling Sean by by coddling him and always patting on him and touching on him and stuff like that. And, which she was enabling that baby mess that he do. And Egypt was like, you know what, that's love. What that is love. Girl, no. Let LaRonda understand that she need to get that boy off her tit. If it's not sexually happening. I mean, maybe, love how you want to love or whatever, but Egypt, let her learn her lesson. Because did you watch the show? Sean is a baby. Did you hear Sir James? Sean looks like a baby. Back to Jessica. She didn't learn anything. So that's just like Alexia, who's coming up next, the star of the episode. In foolishness, who still believes that she would never have known that Derek, I mean, they just haven't learned anything. She would never have, and I haven't learned Darion's name, even though I've said it several hundred times, but she would never have known that Darion was a cheater if not for the show. Why you keep saying that, girl? How many times does Dr. Carol have to show you, give you metaphors and examples and stuff like that of what do you need a diagram? Gosh, all you needed to do was trust your dad on gut, girl. What the hell? You still saying that? You learned nothing. Alexia is also still under the impression that her and Darion were ever friends. He was never your friend. No one's friend treats anyone the way that he's treated you. Over the course of 14 years, he's had a couple of babies on you. All that. He's clearly always been lying to you, and clearly, unless you, I mean, I guess you started dating him when you were really young. I mean, he took your mind and molded it into something that would believe the mess that he says. Darion says when he is asked by Egypt what happened in their relationship, why he did what he did, he says, because, honestly, I didn't even believe there was going to be a marriage because, the sex wasn't good. Darion, who are you, Martell Holt? Like, what's wrong with you and Martell? Why do y'all think that's an excuse for y'all to do all the things that y'all do? I guess it's the same when it's like, Alexia, if you knew he was cheating, why didn't you just leave? But okay, we can say that, but and now we're going to Darion. Why is you not having sex an excuse for you to make a fool out of people? And to just do whatever you want to do and lie and deceive because there's no good sex. I'm not having good sex. Darion is a buffoon. And the way he behaved in the reunion, Darion reminds me of an old, like, Three Stooges type character. Mix them together, like Three Stooges or like Abbott and Costello. Mix them together with Oswald Bates from In Living Color. And, or if you don't know who that is, like, people call these type of people a hotep, or redfish, bluefish type dude, which is from In Living Color, Oswald Bates, just with these guys who are always trying to be deep. I don't think there's anything wrong with that or a hotep, but the caricature of that type of person is Oswald Bates, and mix that person together with a Three Stooges, one of the Three Stooges, the stupidest, the most idiotic one, and you have Darion. He's a buffoon. Like, he just believes that the more expressive that he is, the more dramatic that he is. And then they kind of touched on the fact that they're doing stuff that Darion had planned to do stuff on the show for shock value and to make it more entertaining. Like, what are you gonna do with this fame? Darion is awful. Darion, he says that his needs weren't being, I guess somebody asked, or it comes up somehow, did he feel like he was being helped on the show? And he said no, he felt like it was all about fixing things with her. Yeah, dummy, that's what the show was about. If you wanted to bring up your issues, bring them up. But we know the main issue was that you ain't want to be with her, and she, had no reason to really want to be with you. Y'all had nothing going on to fix. Y'all both knew what time it was, and y'all just on the show making a fool out of all of us, really, and giving us entertainment. So Darion and Alexia go back and forth about this whole thing when he's saying that he never, saw a marriage. She's just like, well, that's crazy because you called the producers, you talked to the doctor about proposing to me, you did all this stuff, and he's just like, facts. So it's like, Darion, you just say you didn't think about marriage, like what? So then I guess he's saying, maybe he's saying that because, the other point he was making was that he was just doing it for her. Well, whatever you was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we talking in circles with this fool? So then they start arguing about how many times Darion got busy with Kai. And, according to Darion, it was only one time. And then the more they talk, he said he said it wasn't one time. It was on that one day. It might have been twice on that one day or whatever. So, because Alexia is just like, well, what about the time when she was naked in the parking lot or getting naked, taking off her clothes in the parking lot? And she is just like, ooh, he's saying all his little stupid stuff in the background. And and I'm just like, Alexia, why do you care how many times he did it? Why do you care? So Egypt asked, so guys, I need clarification. Are you guys over at this point? Like, what's your guys' status now? Alexia is like, we're over, we're done. And he's just like, we're over because I said it's over. And they start arguing about that. Alexia is making the point, we all, I left you on that show, and he was just like, you still be with me if, just being stupid. Like, I don't even want to. Let's just go see if we can get to the next point, but Egypt, when she says that she's done with him, Egypt makes a good point. Like, are you sure? Because you took him back for like 14 years. She's just like, yeah. Yeah, she's sure. So, then he says that he said it was his choice for them to break up because Dr. Nicole brought out Alexia's true colors. He said Egypt lied for 14 whole years, and I wanted for Egypt. He said that Alexia lied for 14 whole years. So I wanted Egypt to ask him this question. Ask him, what did she lie about? Ask the questions that we need the answers to. If you want to, poke and prod. And I guess it's just like this thing where we sitting here entertaining this nutcase. So I guess maybe that's why she didn't ask him. So whatever. Egypt. Anyway. What else? Darion was telling Kai that it was over. So yeah, Kai comes out. And Kai is saying that, they're in a relationship, and Alexia is finding that funny because apparently, he's been trying to get back with Alexia. And so they're just asking her, why would you even be trying to get with somebody else's man? Like, you knew what time it was. And she was like, I was there to find love. Kai, you was there to find love with somebody else's man? Darion was telling her that he and Alexia were over. I mean, duh, of course that's what he's saying. He's a freaking liar. He just wants to eat your drawers. And you want to give him your drawers because you're a nut too. Don't beat me up, please. Kai, because you seem a little crazy. So then, how did they get to, so they start arguing about, because Kai, Alexia tried to talk to her woman to woman, like, I guess at some point they were talking about black girl magic between the two of them, and Alexia brings that up, like, what, oh, no. So before that even happens, right before that happens, the question of how many times they got busy comes back, because, like, of course, that's the most important question that needs to be answered for some reason. So Egypt asks Kai, how many times have you guys been together? And then Kai probably would have answered if Alexia hadn't said, Kai answered. Kai, you answer that. because obviously Kai is in competition, or feels like she's in competition with Alexia. So they're at odds in her mind. So you asking her, she's not going to answer. So of course she says to Darion, what Darion said. Darion, you answer. Darion says the three after 3 days, which is oh no, they asked at what point did they get busy, and then he says after 3 days, and then Kai said, yeah, that's it, after 3 days. So Egypt says, why'd you have to wait for him to answer it, for you to answer it? And Kai says, because that was a question for him. But we all know what time it was. We all know, oh my God. So that's when they start getting into it. Alexia basically calls her trash and thanks her for being trash, taking her trash out. And then so they start going back and forth and calling each other trash, and then Kai storms off, and then Darion storms off behind her. She that girl lying, that girl like Darion. Oh my gosh. So they're in the hallway. She's like, no, don't touch me. She's trying to yank her and all this stuff. But come here, come in the bathroom. And he like is with his big long lanky body showing off the cameras and stuff like that. So they're in the bathroom, and they show the captions. In the captions, they show that she's asking him, so I was a rebound for you. I was a rebound for you. So you got with me to get back at her because Kai said, or Alexia said to her, that she knows. Alexia said that she told Kai, I know what he's doing. So now you know what he's doing, Alexia? All this time after 14 years? And then it took you a whole TV show for you to know what he's doing? Girl, bye. Oh my gosh. So she's like, yeah, so back to the bathroom. And like I said, the door's closed, and the captions are saying, I'm a rebound to you, so you got with me to get back at her. She knows this is true. And it's also funny because on one of the lives that I watched with them, she was like, people think that I was mad at Darion on when I stormed off. I was mad at production. Girl, why do y'all do this? Why do y'all go on these lives? And you can watch these lives on YouTube. Why do y'all go on these lives and say things that are verifiable, that are not that we can go and watch you doing the opposite of? On the same platform. I can click off of your YouTube video and go find an episode of the show that you're on, or I can go find the reunion and see that you're clearly mad at Darion and Kai and Alexia. She's kind of crazy. So so that's going on, and then Alexia and Egypt are sitting there, and Egypt is just like, look, you guys don't need to be fighting, and he's clearly lying to her, and that this is just really more about him. And then Alexia is like, no, whatever Alexia is saying. And then Egypt goes to the back, and she's walking to the back, and she wants to talk to Kai, and Kai's coming out. She wants to talk to her, and then Egypt walks past the camera. She said, no, you guys back up, as if this is just a private moment. Girl, she did the same thing with them. Okay, so she, they go off into a corner, but not really. They're in a bright light. They're right under a light. And first she has her back to the camera, and then she faces like she puts her back to the wall, so they both are facing out toward the camera, just like they did with the rings when she act like she wanted to see the rings, but she's really showing them to the camera. And so she act like she wanted to have a private conversation with Kai, but she makes sure they're in a position so that the camera can see both of their faces and their mouths. The fakeness is amazing. So she tells Kai, she's not judging her, even though on the stage she let her know, like, how do you feel as a woman knowing that you basically would not even be with him if he decided to be with Alexia? Even though she said that, she goes to the back and lets her know that she's not judging her and that she knows this is Darion's fault. So they hug or whatever. Kai gives her a church pat, like, get off me. Kai is that that type that just doesn't have a lot of lady, like she doesn't have any female friends, I'm sure. Like she just, all she wants is, you know. So then, you know, that's it with them. And then they show the stage again. Everyone's back on stage, and they thank Dr. Nicole, or the host thanks Dr. Nicole for doing what she does, and the cast, you know, claps and stuff like that. And Dr. Nicole says her final words, which is basically, you guys need to, you know, just recognize that situationships and relationships are different, and in relationships you have to fully make sure that you're fully present, you know, within yourself, so that you can come as yourself into a relationship, and you can, you know, so you can be fully present, you know, and be the present. You can be the gift. You can be the guarantee in the relationship, you know. So that was it. It's like I said, nobody has any set wedding dates. They're all still working on themselves, as they should. That is the end of this season of Put a Ring on It. I pray that these people stay together so that they can not bother anybody else. Word to Judge Lynn Toller. And that's just how that